I'm saying hello today on September 28th, 2010 from a very, very interesting spot, the Massachusetts Museum of Contemporary Art. Did I figure that out correctly?
That's correct. MassMOCA, yeah.
MassMOCA, wonderful. Here with Catherine Myers, and you work for the museum?
I do. I'm the Director of Marketing and PR.
Oh, wonderful. Excellent. Thank you so much for taking the time to show me around a little bit. Now, tell me about this museum. I mean, it's housed in a wonderful historical complex.
It is. The buildings were built between 1872 and 1900, so it's about, the buildings are more than 100 years old. And the museum has only been here for 11 years, well, 11 and a half years. We opened in May of 1999. And the factory was originally, they manufactured textiles here, and then there was after the textile manufacturer left in the 1940s, a company called Sprague Electric moved in and they manufactured capacitors here. And then when Sprague moved out, the idea of putting a museum in here was proposed in '86, and then we opened in '99. So,
can I ask you one brief question? I just walked through this very interesting.
Tree.
What is that all about?
That is an art installation by an artist named Natalie Dermanjenko. It's called Tree Logic.
Logic.
What she did was she thought that it's like a big science experiment. So she thought that the phototropic effect, the effect of light, was going to be stronger than the gravitropic effect, the effect of gravity. And so she hung these trees upside down, and indeed it is. You can see that they're
growing upwards,
rather
right?
Beautifully,
And
they look like they're dying, but all trees right now look like they're dying.
I know. It's fall. The leaves are falling.
So they're actually quite healthy. But they're losing their leaves just as trees do in the fall. These trees the installation has been here since we opened 11 years, but these particular trees have only been here for 4 years. We had to replace the trees a few years ago. They got sad, not because they were upside down, but because they were in buckets. So just like a house plant would get root bound and would need to go in a bigger pot, the same thing happened to these trees. But we couldn't put them in bigger pots because the structure is only designed to hold that amount of weight. So we took the old trees down, actually planted them right side up behind the Clark Art Institute.
Oh, really? So you kept them? Nice.
We did, and they are doing quite well. So they started their lives growing, regular, and then they got turned upside down for 6 years. So growing weird, and now they're growing like that again. So they have very funky branches.
Can I ask you what species of trees
they are? They're actually flame maples. So they are hardy. They're hardy to zone 3, so they can live in permafrost. The trees that give the Berkshires most of their color are sugar maples, which are not as hardy, as frost tolerant as the flame maples. But we had to choose the flame maples because of because we knew it was going to be permanently frosty in those buckets.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so that makes perfect sense.
Trees that could withstand the cold better. The other thing that's really beautiful here is the architectural detail on these buildings. I often think about them, comparing them to a modern-day industrial park where the architecture is so boring and sort of run-of-the-mill. And here you look at the detail that went in. There's these little stone under every window, and then the arches over the windows, and then the crenellated brick around the eaves. They're just really beautiful buildings.
It's gorgeous, and you guys have done a wonderful job, actually, of restoring the windows.
Well, our hope was to celebrate the fact that this was a factory, not hide it. And we've tried to maintain, we're on the National Register of Historic Places, so we've tried to maintain the exterior of the buildings will stay the same.
Wonderful.
Another cool thing in the lobby in particular is that we have this variety of columns going on here. You can see, and it's kind of a history of mill architecture in one place. So this kind of column with the square column with the little chamfered edge, the cut-off edge. This is the oldest kind of column, and so they would make those columns, the earliest columns, because they were, they could cut them square, and then they would cut off the edge for fire prevention. So because if you had, just like you have tiny little piece of kindling, it catches fire, so they would cut off the edge so you wouldn't have that little sharp thing to catch fire. And then over here, just inside I'm not sure if that's
This one is locked. Oh, it's open.
So over
there we go.
here, right in here, we have
these are
well, they're 8-sided.
8-sided.
So they went from the 4 to the 8. And then the last columns that you see out in the lobby again are the newest columns, which are round. So then they got to a point where they could make totally round.
Wow,
so I just think it's cool that we've maintained this.
Exactly.
That there's this whole history of column making here in this art museum.
Wonderful. What area are you going to show me next?
Well, this, so now we're in the gallery.
Okay, let me come back with another clip actually to cover that.
Sure.
Thank you.